Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here on the day after official fall equinox day. For me, it's really going to happen tomorrow on the 24th, and that will be the day where the moon will be in half, and we're halfway from the journey from summer solstice to winter solstice. So we're right at that halfway point. So this is a place of transition. You know, you can see it outside, huge transition happening. And it's maybe transition in, you know, the way we move on the mat, transition in, you know, how you nourish yourself. All of that is just coming in right now. So we feel this little bit of maybe an unsettling. So we'll use this practice to just ground ourselves and drop into that quiet, to your breath, to your own creative spark. So taking your hands out to the sides and open your hands nice and wide, stretch your fingers, lift your heart. And as you exhale, settle into this. So let your hands relax, your body drop into its seat, the shoulders drop, maybe your chin drops, your eyes close. And become aware of the sensations that arise from this mudra, from you sitting as you are, listening to your breath, softening the inside of your mouth, inviting in this quiet. And then with great reverence, maybe very slowly start to join your palms together in front of your heart as if you are inviting in everything that you need, everything that you are manifesting, desiring, releasing, feeling. Just invite all of that in to come into some sort of balance here at your heart. And again, rest into your stillness. Now, just opening your ears to the sounds you hear around you. Inside your space, outside your space. And then bringing your awareness back to your own quiet. Begin to lengthen and deepen your breath. Setting yourself up to open practice with the sound of Om 3 times. So adjusting yourself and whatever you need. And we'll inhale to begin. And bow your chin. Release your hands to your thighs and lift your chin. And open your eyes. Okay. So we're going to start standing. So come up creatively, meaning, find the best way you can for standing that, maybe you would do if you were 5. And I'm just going to back myself up. Good. Okay. And once you're here, I'm just going to start to just shift my weight side to side, and just nice and easy lifting. As I shift to one side, I'll lift the other foot up. And I'm just going to start to lengthen this time I'm on each side. And just feeling, whatever it is, you can use your arms in whatever way. Maybe you bend a knee. Just feel whatever this is. Good. And so we'll just do a few more, just side to side. Notice if one side feels more stable than the other. And drop your gaze to the floor. Soften your jaw. Okay, and then I'm just going to shift over to one leg. Lift the other leg. And now I'm just going to sweep this leg around. So front, back, maybe I bend at the knee. Just get creative. If your balance is challenged and you're at home, grab a wall, but not the same thing. So I'm still on that same leg. Just exploring. I'm going to do maybe 3 more breaths here. Just letting everything happen as it does. And then creatively shift over and do the same on the other side. So work the balance. Play. If you have to do your car registry and you're waiting in line, although I'm going to do it on mine this year. This is, not as exaggerated, but just a fun thing to do. Yeah, let's do 2 more breaths here. And moving. And then we'll step that leg out. I'm just going to stand on my 2 feet, drop the arms. Just breathe, feel the effects of that all the way up to your heart space. Maybe your face feels really relaxed. Maybe you feel a little playful. Good. Okay, and then I'm just going to put the legs at a comfortable distance, hands to your hips. And we'll just start to rock the hips side to side. And just feeling what that is. If you want to go a little wider, you can. You can go a little narrower. But we're going to start to circle. So the hips will go out to one side. Bend your knees, stick your butt back. Take it over and forward. So as you start to do this, you're going to notice and it's nothing wrong. Just notice, if you tip forward a lot or not a lot. You feel your hips moving. Can you make it feel good? And if you want to release your arms, you can take them up to the side and we'll just roll the wrists as you dance a little bit. And feel. And then reverse your circling, circle in the opposite way. Good. Yes. And, smile, make it fun. Good. And then I'm just going to lower the arms, sway the hips, and then reach up, inhale, take your arms up towards the sky, cross your arms, your wrists, and then bring the arms back down. And as they come down, bring your hands together, up at your heart, namaste. Then release your arms down, reach it up, cross at the elbows or grab your elbows, and then release down. Bring the hands back, namaste. And one more. This time as we reach up, grab your elbows, straighten your legs, reach up. And exhale, release your arms out. Take a forward fold here. So you might turn your heels out a little bit. Take your hands to the floor. And widen your stance or narrow it, bend your knees. Whatever you need, turn your heels out a little bit. And then with your hands on the floor, start to sway the hips side to side. And so you might bend your knees. You might keep your legs straight. And let your head go. And the next time the hips shift to the right, we're going to leave them there and walk the hands over to the left. And take the right arm, just reach it a little further away, and then press your hips more to the right until you feel that stretch along the right side of your body. You might turn your head to look to the left. And then bring your hips back to center. Walk your hands through center and all the way over to the right. And the left hand reaches a little more. And then we press the hips over to the left. Just enough so you start to feel that stretch. Soften your face. Breathe. And turn your head to the right. And then bring your hips back to center. Walk your hands to center. And we're going to come up. I'm going to bend the knees a lot. Sit down in your legs. Take your hands one at a time to the tops of your thighs. Lift your shoulders. Lift yourself all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Take the arms up. Cross at the elbows. See if you can remember which way you went and change it. And then hold the elbows. Lengthen. Inhale. And as you exhale, open your arms. Stretch your fingers. Bend your knees. Take your butt all the way back. And take the hands down to the floor. And come back to side, and this time add a bend in the knee. Maybe you did last time too, that's fine. Bend as you shift the hips to one side, you bend that knee. Turn your head in opposition of the hips and the knee. And breathe. Good. Okay, we're going to take this to a half dog. So I'll bring the legs to straight and then walk your hands forward as you keep a bend in your knee and the tush back and come up maybe on the pads of your fingers. You're going to widen the knees apart, that inner ankle to outer ankle. Breathe. Move back a little bit. Good. Take one more breath. And then walk your hands back. Keep the knees bent, hands to your thighs, lift the shoulders, lift your chin, press the hands into the thighs to lift the torso, come all the way up, and now just stand, breathe, drop your arms, feel the expanded breath, slow your breath down if you need to. Good. Take one more breath here. Inhale and reach up. This time, just let your hands touch over your head with your arms straight. Good. Inhale, press the fingers up to the sky, feet to the floor. And as you exhale, bring these hands down in front of your heart into that Anjali Mudra. Right in front of your heart, pause here. Good. Okay, interlace your fingers. Press your palms down to the floor. And as you push them down, really grip the fingers, even the pads of the fingers on the backs of your hands, and pull the arms apart. Take your heart through. Lift your belly, anchor your legs, and inhale, reach up. As you exhale, shift over to the right, hips go left. Inhale up, and exhale, left, hips go right. And let's do that one more time on each side. Feel your feet are engaged in this. So perhaps as you lean to the left foot pushes into the floor and away. Then inhale up. Now as you exhale, we're going to open the arms, bend the knees, start to fold. Take your hands behind your back as you come down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep your knees bent. Drop your head if you can. So you can sit down as much as you need to in your legs and maybe start to lift your arms up and over your head. And you might be like, up and over my head. Sorry, that just came out, but just straight. If you can straighten your arms, you lift the shoulders, and then you start to take the arms towards your head as best as you can. Sit back into your heels. Breathe. Take one more breath, and then release your arms all the way down to the floor. Good. Walk your hands forward, back into this half dog. So bend your knees, hips back, hands forward. Drop your head, and then you widen your knees apart. Inner ankle to outer ankle. Lift your toes if you can. We're just going to rock front to back here. So as you inhale, shift the weight forward, lift your head, and exhale and take it back. And just do that a few times, just moving front to back. So your feet can be as wide apart as you need to feel comfortable and spacious. Good. And then stay here, walk your hands back. And I'm going to straighten my legs just because I can, but you don't have to. Drop yourself a little more, grab hold of opposite elbows here and just hang. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can always drop your hips to a wall or put your hands back on the floor or on blocks. Good. Breathe through your back. Find your quiet. Good. And then hands to the earth. Walk your hands out. I'm going to come down onto my knees. I'm moving into child's pose. So, whatever you need to do to make that happy, do that in, bring that in. Or just drop your head to the floor, walk your hands out. Actually, like you claw the floor, walk your hands longer. And then drop in here and breathe. So your knees can be wide apart or together, whatever's better for you. And breathe. And take one more breath here. I'm going to come up to hands and knees. Good. Okay. So if you need a support under your knees, my friends, put that in. Okay. The toes are tucked under. I kind of walk my feet forward a little bit, like without moving my knees. I'm just kind of making the feet a little bit more taut. Then I'll walk the hands back. I'm coming up onto the knees. And take the hands together, just another balancing practice. I'm going to shift your weight over to your right knee, take the left leg out, and bring the left foot forward. Whatever happens is fine. Okay, now you're here. Just going to rock front to back. And as I go back, I might even shift the hips back and take the sole of the foot up off the floor. If this isn't good, put your hands on your thigh or grab your blocks. Something underneath your right knee might be good. Okay, and then we're going to come forward into this lunge. So bring it forward. We'll take a side bend. So I'm going to put the left hand on the left thigh, reach the right arm up. Now it's a reach all the way down the front of the thigh to the right knee. And then crescent over to the left. The left knee can come in towards the right to help you counterbalance. Then drop your hips if you can go deeper. Breathe. Good. And then release right hand to floor or block. And we're going to take it out a little bit more. So you actually lean out to the right. Press your left hand into your thigh. Twist to the left. Maybe lift the left toes up and reach this left arm up and back. Good. Drop your hips if you can. Open. Good. And then take your hand down to the floor. Now I'm going to lift up into a wide legged. So lift the back leg up, walk your hands, turn both feet, inhale, and exhale and fold down in between your legs. Soften your jaw, and we're going to get quiet here with 3 breaths here. Okay. Take your hands to the floor, lift your head and your heart. Good. Let's turn the right toes all the way out. Bend into that leg and then walk your hands around. Lift the left heel and place that left knee down on the floor. Okay, then we're going to come up. So you come up. If this is no good, adjust your stance. You can always walk the right foot out to the right and make it not as narrow. Take your hands to your heart and then just start here. Just shifting front to back, and maybe as you move back, hips can go back. Whatever you need. I'm not going super fast. And I want to feel everything being offered here. What's wobbly, what's shaky, all of that. Okay, the next time we come forward, good. I'm going to take the right hand to the right thigh, reach the left arm up, and feel the lift. You know, even as you anchor that left knee, belly up, and then press into the right. Right knee can move into center. Breathe. And if you can sink your hips down a little bit more, do that. And then take the left hand to the floor, but it's coming out. So we lean right onto the left. And then anchor the right hand, open, reach up and back, like open yourself. Breathe into your space, into your place. And I'm dropping my right knee now out to the right. Good. And then both hands down. We'll come back to wide-legged. So we lift the back knee, walk the hands, both feet point straight. Inhale and exhale and fold. This time we're here for 5 breaths. Good. And then bring your hands back up. Good. Okay. And draw your belly in like you're doing cat pose. And notice what that does to your legs. See if you can firm your legs a little bit. If you need to bend your knees, that's fine. We're going to come up. So I'm going to keep everything as it is and just take my hands to my hips. Then I push the hips back, lift the shoulders, and inhale and come up. Good. Hey, any shaking, normal. It's all fine. Turn your left foot out. Yes. Hands to your hips. Inhale. And then start to bend the knee over to the left. Open the knee out towards the baby toe edge of your foot. Anchor your back foot. Lift your belly. And then inhale and straighten. And as I straighten, I might take the sole of the foot up. And then just come back and forth. You don't have to go far. You're just feeling your own power. You know, we're stoking the creative spark. Okay, the next time you come forward, let's turn it into warrior 2. Open your arms. And we'll take a side bend. So right hand comes down, left palm turns up, and you reach the left arm up towards the sky. Breathe. Feel into your shakies. Good. And then release. Okay, I'm going to bring the hands at the heart. I'm going to step this back foot, the right foot, to meet the left. So, you know, there's some balance. So go slow. Feel what, oh, I have to step that foot. What does my body want to do to prepare? You know, and let it happen. And even if it doesn't happen, it's all fine. Okay, drop your arms. Feel the effects of all of that. Okay, feel into the front of your right hip flexor as opposed to the left. Good. Okay, we're just going to come back to the beginning. So stay as you are. I'm just going to turn and step back. And as you inhale, take your arms and reach up. Touch the palms together over your head. And exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. As you come down, opposite interlace your fingers. Press the palms towards the floor. Open your heart in between. So you grip the fingers, pull the hands apart, lift your heart. And then inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Good. Now you can separate your legs apart, whatever you need. Keep breathing. Okay. And then inhale, press up. And exhale, shift to the left. And inhale up. And exhale to the right. And inhale up. Now exhale, you're going to open your arms. We're going to sit down in the legs, stick the butt back, go slow. Take your hands down to the earth. Melt your head if you can. I still have my knees very much bent. I'm going to shift the weight into the heels. Breathe. Get quiet. Even if this, you know, make it what you need, but soften your forehead. Smile. Good. And then inhale, lift your head and your heart, and we're going to step the left foot all the way to the back. Good. Okay, now drop your left foot flat onto the earth. We're going to come up here. So feel what do you need to do to come up. So maybe you start just by lifting your hands. You go slow, let the power be in your legs. Bring yourself up. Okay, now the right foot's going to turn out. The left heel is going to pop out slightly. Take your hands to your hips. And then as you exhale, bend into the knee. Let the knee open and straighten your leg. So just feel, what do I need to recruit here so that the back leg is engaged. So it's not all, shifting into that right side. You can even take your heart more to the left. Yes. Okay, let's do one more, just like this. Good. And then you'll straighten your legs. We'll open the arms out and come into your warrior two. Now right away, automatically, I pick my toes up. I know Anne's doing that too. Shift your knee over. Now drop the left hand, turn the right palm up, and take this crescent. So you lift the arm up and lean over towards the left. Good. And then release, straighten your legs. Bring your hands together at your heart. We're going to step the left foot to meet the right. So, go slow. What do you do to find that balance? To be there as best as you can. And then once you're here, drop your arms, breathe. So good. Okay. So I'm going to take you onto your backs here. We're going to go through Malasana squat. I just tell you that in advance. So if you like a block or whatever, it's fine. Stay as you are, the front of your mat. Drop your arms, and then inhale and reach up, look up, touch your palms together. Exhale, hands at your heart. Interlace your fingers, send them down. And then inhale, sweep them out in front of you, take it up. Now exhale and forward fold. Take your hands to the earth. Find your balance through the pelvis. And inhale, lift your chin and your heart. Exhale, fold. And here in this fold, you can either grab your opposite elbows, but I'm going to take my hands behind the calves and just give them a little grippy here, right in the center of the calves. And I pull up, the skin of the calves up, bring the whole forearm behind the leg and pull myself in here. Breathe. Find your quiet. And then you can release your hands. Maybe you widen your feet out, turn the toes out, heels in, but you don't have to do that. If you can keep the feet straight and come down for a squat, do that. A whole different thing. Okay, breathe here. Such an integral pose. You can feel what's happening here. But hip flexors, knees. I'm going to shift myself a little bit, just side to side. Just to move here, lift the toes, smile, even if it's not a happy pose for you right now at this time. Good. Soften your whole pelvic floor. You could do this sitting on something too, if balancing here on your feet isn't happy, you can throw a block in. And then I'm going to come to seated, and again, just reach forward, push down. So I'm just going to turn to the side, hug your knees, so you can grab opposite elbows, drop your chin. Maybe lift your heels up. And then take the heels down, lift the feet up. And just do that another time, just feel. And then place your feet on the floor and feel. I'm going to take it to boat pose, but you're welcome to just sit and just breathe. But here I hold my shins, lift the heart, but it's really about sending the sit bones down, lean back, and then see what happens if we take the feet off the floor. And maybe that's okay. I can lift here I come more on the sacrum. And lift the shins, palms up, open the heart. Maybe you can straighten your legs and reach and smile. Even if you fall, spread your toes. And then exhale, I'm just gonna come onto my back here. So I'll hug the knees and roll. Good, and then, so be on your back with your knees into your chest, and you can put a blanket down if you'd like that, or something underneath. I'm gonna put a blanket under my head. Good. And just hug your knees into your chest, rock in and out a few times. Good. Soften your jaw, feel your abdominals working here. Maybe you can take the hands off and still bring the knees in and out. And those deep abdominal muscles here. And just feel that. Good. I might drop my arms, palms up. Just do maybe 2 more. And it's almost like these little crunches. Maybe you remember from the 80s. Good. And then don't let your feet come down just yet, but be here with the knees up. I'm going to lift the shins up as if I'm sitting in a chair. My feet are together. I'm going to shift both feet over to the right and then over to the left. And just so, like you're, I don't know, painting a picture of something, the soles of your feet. Just shift side to side. You feel your knees move, your hips move, your hip flexors. You're flat on the floor, so no problem for the low back, hopefully here. And then just move your knees a little bit away from your, wherever their belly, just take them out a bit. Continue to do this for a few more. And smile. Good. All right, and then knees into your chest, take your hands, hug them in. And then we'll drop the feet to the floor. Let your hands trace along the tops of your thighs till the feet come down. Good. All right, take a moment. And we're going to come into a little bridge. So that's where we lift the hips. So after all that abdominal work, that's going to feel nice. Walk your feet in closer to your hips. Pigeon toe your feet, like feel like, oh, I'm pigeon toed. Most likely you're not pigeon toed, your feet come straight, even though they might feel. You can take a peek. Actually, it's hard to take a peek, but they'll go where they need to. Take your arms down by your sides, palms down. Spread your fingers, anchor your hands. Anchor your upper arms, your shoulders. You might even lift your heart, bring the shoulder blades together a little bit. Draw your belly down, feel the tailbone lift. Feel the feet on the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, push into the feet and lift your hips up. And as you lift your hips, you might even lift your head just for a moment. Put it back down and press your feet down and away. Breathe. Exhale, lower yourself down, nice and slow. Come all the way down. And take a full breath in and out. Do that again. So feel your feet. Inhale, start to prepare, and then exhale and lift. And if you like to take your arms up and over your head here, backs of the hands to the floor, and reach your fingers. Press your feet down and forward. And exhale, release. And as you bring the hips down, take your arms back up over and down by your sides. And breathe. Let everything go. Good. Release your breath, soften, smile. Good. All right, we're going to do one more. And I'm going to kick this one up, so you can just do what we did before, or if you want to put a block in, you can do that. So as we come up, you might interlace your fingers behind your back. Actually, let's start with that. So we'll start with that. So take your arms down by your sides the way we've been doing. Prepare. Whatever you need to do to feel grounded. Belly in, shoulders towards the floor. And inhale. And exhale, start to lift. And as you come up, take your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. walk your upper arms towards each other. And if the arms don't go straight and firm to the floor, then maybe it's too much. So take them out and go back. Otherwise, you're here, push down. Okay, here's the next. I'm going to stay. You can come out or stay as you are. Release the hands. See if you can put the palms underneath each cheek. You might have to lift your heels up. And then I push the feet down, lift, and allow the weight to drop into the hands. And I'm going to take 2 more breaths. And then we'll release down. And as you come out, you might roll your wrists if you did that a couple times. Widen your feet apart, drop the knees together, and find your quiet. Take 1 more full breath in and out. And then we'll just widen the knees and just come to windshield wiper. Just rocking your knees side to side and just allowing everything to unwind itself. Good. Next time your knees drop to the right, let's keep them there. And maybe the right ankle is going to come to rest on the left knee, if that doesn't give you knee pain. Okay, so adjust whatever you need here. Breathe. Turn your head to the left. Actually pick it up and move the back of the head more to the right if you're turning. And take 1 more breath. Soften where you can. And then we'll release the foot. Come back to center with the feet wide. You can even anchor the feet, lift your hips, and just rock your hip hammock a few times side to side, like that dance we started this whole practice with. And then let your hips come down. Drop your knees over to the left. And if it feels okay, left ankle on top of right knee. And then I'll lift my head up, turn it to the right, and move the back of the head more to the left. And then drop into your quiet. Bring your head to center, release the ankle off the knee, bring the legs up. And again, I'll just find the center here, anchor the feet, lift the hips, and come back to this like hammock swing of the hips moving side to side. You can add the hands as if you're dancing. Good. And then we'll lower the hips to the floor. Good. Keep your feet where they are, cross the right ankle over the left knee. And then we'll just rock this a little bit side to side. And again, you know, we do have the left foot wider, so it's going to affect how deep you can go here. So that's fine. Even a little bit of rocking might give you some back release, back cracking. And then I'll bring that to stillness. Just let that right knee kind of drop away, like as if you're just hanging out like this, staring at the clouds or lying on a beach. So no effort. And then we'll move to thread the needle. So that's left thigh in. So notice what you do, you know, go slow to bring that back into balance so you can lift the left leg. Then interlace your fingers behind the thigh or on top of the shin, or if you're very tight, you can even rest the left foot on the floor, on the wall, if you have a wall there, or your couch. And breathe. Now adding a little flexion into the feet, softening the jaw, the back of the heart, and rocking side to side a little bit. Feel the place between dark and light. And then settle into whatever this is. You know, if you shift more to the right, it's not as intense. And if you shift to the left, it's going to get a little more intense. Find your quiet. And release that left foot down. And just heel toe your left foot a little wide. Release the right foot down a little wide, so a little bit wider of your hips. Anchor the feet, lift the hips, find your little hip hammock again, swing side to side. And then place the hip hammock on the floor. What you feel is centered. Drop the knees towards each other. Turn your heels out, breathe. Smile. And separating your knees and left ankle over right knee, a little off center. And come back to this idea of side to side or windshield wiper here. It's not a very big movement for me, but there's certainly lots to notice and feel. We'll just do maybe one or two more. And then you're just going to drop into stillness. So just letting that left knee drop open. Notice what you feel in your hip crease or even that outer hip. Just allow that to melt into it. And then preparing to move to thread the needle, notice what happens in your pelvis, your hips, as it prepares to balance, so you can lift the right leg. Interlace behind the thigh, on top of the shin, or rest your foot on your couch, on your wall. And then I'll soften through my face, my jaw, back of the heart, and just rock this side to side a little bit, just to feel. And flex your feet slightly. And eventually moving into stillness and softness, even amidst, you know, you might have a very big stretch here happening. So you just receive it with your childlike curiosity, the sense of release and relief, gratitude, honoring, and your presence. And then releasing that and taking your foot to the floor. So, okay, maybe windshield wiper a little bit, and we're gonna prepare to go upside down. So that's, you know, with us, no headstand, no handstand today, but to take a block or a blanket, a bolster, I'm gonna use a block underneath the sacrum. So walk the feet in, just as we did lifting. Then you might lift your hips up as high as they're gonna go and put that block on whatever height it needs to be on the sacrum, my friends. So that's low, that's bones. If you're on a blanket or a bolster, you know, where you are is not as important, because we're not putting, you know, the blocks hold the bones, and we don't want to hold the vertebrae. So wherever you are here, just drop in and receive. Okay. I might pick my head up and just put it back down, just to re-lengthen the back of my neck, and drop in. If it's not comfortable, make it. Now take the time to make it comfortable. I'm going to heel toe my feet a little wider, pigeon toe, and let the knees drop in towards each other. They might not touch, but that's what's happening. And we soften the glutes. And then just rest in here. I call this upside down because your hips and your heart are perhaps lifted higher than your forehead. It's very soothing for the brain. And depending on how high you are on your block, and we're all going to get good benefit. It doesn't matter so much. But in this full pose, and when the hips are lifted nice and high, the eyes are almost in line with the heart. Like you can look into your own heart space, this place of, abundance. Even with a broken heart mends and can open and flower and flourish. Like the lotus flower of 1,000 petals. So even a heavy heart will eventually lighten. And a loving heart can be felt, when you're in the space of someone you love, someone who loves you. You can feel it. It doesn't come from the head. And it doesn't come from the groins. It comes from the heart. The heart as the great connector, is the center of the chakra system. 7 chakras, and at the center is the heart. And from here, it's going to come off the block, nice and quiet, just dropping down. If you have a block in your hand, you can even lay it on your tummy and just rest your hands on top and straighten your legs here if you like. Or you might want a windshield wiper and release whatever you brought in. If your back feels a little tight, just windshield wiper. Okay, and then from here, I'll just release the block out to the side. I'm going to bring the knees back into the chest, just hug them in and rock a little bit. Just release your back. We'll just come into twist, so arms open to the side, and we'll drop both knees over to, your right or your left, whichever side you went to is fine. And just dropping in 5 breaths. And let the last exhale be that release. And then we'll bring the knees back up and over to the opposite side. And it's dropping in again. As you come into your last exhale. And then I'm not going to come back onto the back. I'm going to take the arm all the way over and press up very lovingly to seated and feeling into all of that, just to set myself up for a nice Shavasana. So we'll do that together and take my blanket and I open it up to about this size so that I can have, and then the open part will go away from me, the seam side is towards me. I'm going to grab a bolster and my 2 blocks. And I'm going to make a little pie symbol here with this just to support my calves. So I know most of you know this. So this is what it looks like. And I'll put that right at the back of my mat so that when I take my legs over, the calves will rest. And it might fall. If it falls, it sometimes ends up really nice too, so it's okay. Okay, then an eye pillow and a blanket. A nice blanket here I'm going to use. All right. So a well-earned Shavasana rest for that. So take the time and make it nice for yourself. And I'm going to cover my feet first. They won't get cold. And I'll just tuck that blanket underneath the calves. Bring it over. Good. All right. So we're going to rest here for about 8 minutes. And your work, my work is to watch the time. Your work is to not watch the time. And just trust and be in your quiet, in your own, bask in the afterglow of your creative flow of your practice. So make yourself nice and warm as we rest. The body temperature drops. Make it comfortable. And I forgot to do one thing. I'm not going to move anything. I'm just going to take my hands either side of this blanket and just roll it inwards. Lift the head and just create this little support for the back of my head. And then I'll just smush it in around the neck, sides of the neck, tops of the shoulders. So my head feels nice and held. Shavasana. Gifting yourself permission to release more deeply. Soften your eyes if you're looking into your own heart. Being aware of the flow of your breath without changing it, just notice your breath. Scanning this whole body for any place you're still holding any tension. And just acknowledging these places, releasing if you're able. And choosing to stay in your Shavasana for longer. Or starting to make little movements as you journey your way so peacefully, so quietly. Just finding your fetal position and then resting there for a breath or two. And we honor the in-between places in line with the energy of nature right now. Just resting into your stillness as you come up to seated, and or staying in your Shavasana, however you are, just savoring these moments of quiet. So I'm just resting one hand in the other and just lightly touching the thumbs together. Then resting this into my lap, bowing the chin, softening the eyes. You feel all this quiet you have cultivated for yourself and this great nourishment of movement, consciously connected movement. Let your body find its best alignment here. So softening your pelvic floor and letting the pelvis find its center. The rest of the body will align with that. And keeping the thumbs pressed together, join your palms together with great reverence. Lengthen yourself. Bow your chin to all that you are and all that you bring and all that is at this moment for you in your life. You honor it. And you are present, you are here. Sitting with what is. And sometimes that's the bravest thing we can do, the most courageous. And sometimes we mother ourselves, and some take. The joys of practicing at home. And sometimes we need to indulge the child within, I was going to say. So with that, lengthen yourself tall, inhale. Exhale as you are. We'll seal this with our May We Be Blessed mantra. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be healthy. May we be happy. We'll seal that with one Om. Inhale. Bow your chin. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Namaste. Love and blessings for each one of you. Thank you for being here and sharing this time in this space. Yay. Happy Tuesday, guys. Yay. Oh, hi, Barky.